Hello, my name is Jeremy Johnson. I'll be talking about philosophy as a way of life, in which I'll have three different schools of philosophy that I'll be talking about really generally. And the first school I'll be talking about are the Pythagoreans, um, which were which was founded by Pythagoras, who is also known as the founder of philosophy, as he was the first one to philosophize. Um, and so the Pythagoreans believed in the transcendence of souls, as did many other of the schools, as well as many of the people of that time period. And the Pythag- it was rumored that Pythagoras um, kept recollections of his past lives, which was a gift from Hermes. And this is kind of cool because this kind of makes Pythagoras the son of Hermes because Hermes had given this as a gift to his son, um, as the rumor goes. But the Pythagoreans, to keep the purity of the soul, they had some strict guidelines to which the followers and the students had to follow. So they kept strict guidelines on the diet, which meant no meat, no beans, just vegetables. They said no drinking, no drinking to be drunk, no laughter, no moderate sexual relations, no retaliations and anger, and no blood sacrifices for the followers. And the next one I'm going to be talking about are the Cynics. Um, the Cynics are also known as the White Dog, and um, these are the the macho people. They really just wanted to go through it to prove that they could go through the hardships. And so these people lived with minimal belongings. They just had their cloak, their staff, their knapsack, and they would sleep and just live in Mother Nature with these things. And so they also conditioned their bodies to go through the winters, go through the summers. Like they would cover their bodies with snow, um, just to condition themselves, and they would just torture themselves in the summer, um, just to show um, how macho they are, um, and how strong they are. Um, one uh, one example of the Cynics is Diogenes of Sinope. Um, Diogenes of Sinope was a former slave. He lived as a beggar. He begged for his aims, and he really just scorned the social constructions of the time, um, as well as he mocked um, vanity, whether it was in Plato or whoever else was around at that time. Um, and so he really stuck by his beliefs, as many of the, or not many, but all of the Cynics. Um, and Diogenes even coined the term Socrates, who had gone mad. The next school we're going to be talking about are the Stoics, um, which the Stoics were a real critical school during this time period. They gave structure to philosophy, um, and the Stoics, Stoicism was founded by Zeno of Citium, who was a foreigner that was shipwrecked. He lost all his belongings, and he found this book about Socrates, which really inspired him to start a school. And um, Zeno, in particular, he really liked the ideals of the Cynics, but not exactly the lifestyle. He really wanted to keep all the wealth and live modestly, um, but still have that macho charisma that the Cynics had. He also thought that we should live according to nature and natural law, um, and taking all the pleasures, all the natural pleasures that the world would give you. Um, Another key thought that the Stoics had was um, taming our emotions and being indifferent. And difference in politics, excuse me, um, indifference in politics, indifference in really just um, most aspects of life. Um, they also wished to be ready for whatever situations life would hand to them. Oops, sorry. And so, the last school I'm going to be talking about are the Epicureans. Um, the Epicureans were founded by Epicurus, and the Epicureans were kind of like the bad boys of this time period. They really just went against the grain. They didn't like any of the schools, so they started their own. It was just a bunch of friends who went to the garden and would philosophize, and um, uh, they just took in all the pleasures um, that were given to them. Um, and this is one of the reasons why I thought the Epicureans were really interesting, because they went against almost um, every school of thought at the time. And in conclusion, um, philosophy as a way of life really um, is just living well and sort of a plan to dying well. Um, so, like for example, the Pythagoreans, dying well meant keeping the soul pure, um, and this whole notion of keeping peace, serenity, and tranquility, um, not just as a physical atmosphere, but as a inner peace, which was something that everyone wanted. Everyone had their own ideas of what was peaceful to them. So whether it was tranquility in the soul, tranquility in the stomach, meaning um, like the pleasures of life or the pleasures of the mind. Um, there was a school for each one, um, and um, a lot of the schools, the philosophical schools of this time period, remind me of religion of today. There are a lot of restrictions that are within religions, just like how there are restrictions in the Pythagorean school and so forth. But there are a lot of freedoms, but they all give guidelines to living and dying well. Um, and yeah, that is my presentation on philosophy as a way of life. I hope you guys didn't think it was horrible. Thank you.